Leela Moy with us also, all the way from Brazil, and looking very smart for perhaps 11 p.m. Hare Krishna.
And our beautiful Priyanana is here. And you know what, Maharaj? I sent the message to Leela Moy, asking him to cover me because of this situation that could arise. And guess what happened? Tell us, Leela Moy, what happened?
Suddenly, my energy went out. It was about, electricity, yes. I was desperate. But now I relieve.
These things happen. They happen.
I sent him a message and he said, phew, I was so nervous.
Anyway, happily having you both looking after us today. And we have Priyanana Devidasi as a passenger in the car. Oh, with her mum. Greetings, Mama. Hare Krishna. Okay, watch the road, please. Where are you going, Priyanana?
Now we are going to the city.
Going to the city, but in and out of
St.
internet.
Petersburg to Lakhta. Now I'm in my hometown. Huh? Yes. I mean, we are living a bit out on the outskirts, so to say. Dandavats to everyone.
All right, Dandavat to Priyanana, to Jivana Devidasi, who just joined us, Gauranath Raj Prabhu, also from Brazil, in 11 o'clock at night, and Udaran Prabhu at 5 in the morning, and Jivana at a sensible hour, I think. I don't remember the time. Not so late.
Not so late.
All right.
For her is 7 in the evening.
Ah, yes, 7 p.m. on a Saturday evening. Good. Okay, so we are together. Let us begin. Others will likely join us. So Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Dev Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome to all. Just now Bhagavan Prabhu, Rupa Nuga Prabhu, Radha Sundari Devirasi joined us, Seva Rupa Devirasi joined us also. So from around and about, we've come together to hear something good. So we should hear from the devotees something good. So I can first ask to Leela Moy Prabhu, something good he's heard within the last 12 hours. Anything good you've heard within the last 12 hours, Leela Moy Prabhu?
Dhanavad to all the devotees, Dhanavad Gurudev. Actually I heard so many things, but I can repeat because I forgot. I don't know. I don't have anything in mind. Yeah. This is, yeah. My mind, I don't know what's happened because I watched so many things, I read so many things, but yeah, in the end of the day, I forgot everything and I need to restart again.
No problem. We have breakfast, lunch every day. Every day we have to restart again with breakfast and lunch. But I think Seva Rupa Devirasi, for her it's early morning, fresh mind. She remembers something that she's heard in the last 12 hours as good advice, something which may likely to give us a boost in our devotional life. Is that true, Seva Rupa Devirasi?
Dandavats. Yes, Maharaj, it's just through the association of the Vaishnavas. I think it was Divya Shakti that was in the class, okay, for me it was last night, where she was talking about the chatuḥ-ślokī. And she said as they were flying from America to Italy, in the plane they were going through that, and I didn't understand what is it, where do I find it, is it a book, what is it, you know? And then I think it's some verses in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, 3 or 4 verses. I don't know, but I could be mistaken. So I was trying to search on Veda base, yes, and then it from the Srimad-Bhagavatam. So the one that I was reading with my mom last night, and we were like looking through it, I know the ending part said that, you know, the whole gist of this was that to concentrate on the roots and not get distracted by the branches and the twigs or flowers or something to that effect. So yeah, that's what I can say that stood out in the last 12 hours for me.
I was also thinking of that same matter of Divya Shakti and Purushottam Prabhu. They arrived here from Salt Lake City, Sweet Lake City. They arrived here at Vilagovinda Ashram. And so, as devotees do, they remembered Krishna while on the airplane. And it seems they had a very good flight because they were reading the chatuḥ-ślokī of Srimad-Bhagavatam. And these are the 4 seed verses of Srimad-Bhagavatam, just as there are 4 seed verses of Bhagavad Gita. So most devotees are more aware of the seed verses of Bhagavad Gita, which are in chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita, and verses 8, 9, 10, and 11. So ahang sarvasya prabhavo mata savang prabhatite iti matva vadanti mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Then machita margata prana. We have all learned these in our early back to basics, which we can certainly revisit and relearn. But these chatuḥ-ślokī that they were reading were the chatuḥ-ślokī of Srimad-Bhagavatam. And what had impressed them, and they were reading the purports by Srila Prabhupada, because after all, it's 4 verses, chatuḥ-ślokī, and they were reading the purports of these verses as well. And as, I don't know if online we've mentioned it, but certainly we've mentioned it here, when we're reading some of the purports in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we see in Srimad-Bhagavatam that we read in the evening, some of these purports are really books in themselves or booklets in themselves. And it's amazing that Srila Prabhupada could do this, could do all of this, as well as found a mission and train people who had no idea whatsoever about spiritual life, really, or misconception, if any idea, a misconception of what is spiritual life. And Srila Prabhupada, from the basics of how to eat and how to bathe and giving time to the devotees, he did all of this translation work with commentary, not only translation, which by itself is very exacting and responsible, full energy activity, but with these extensive purports. So first of all, can somebody say to me, Sevarupa, did you find the chatuḥ-ślokī? It's Canto 2,
Yeah,
chapter
I mean 9.
2, 9, and the verses
33.
are?
I think it's from 33. 33. 33.
33, okay.
I think so.
So verse 2, 9, 33. So today, I mean, really, they were so enthusiastic reading those. So let us today look up the Veda base and come to 2, 9, 33, and let us at least read the verses, because we understand that it is an extensive, there are extensive purports here. All right. So is 33 the first one?
I think so, Maharaj, because when I was checking on database, just that chatuḥ-ślokī key word, then there was something that came up under 33, 34, 35. So yes, I think 33 is the first one.
Okay. So this is Lord Brahma. No, it's Krishna speaking to Lord Brahma. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Okay, tell you what we'll do. Shukadeva Goswami is sitting with King Parikshit. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do today. I mean, I won't tell you. Let us, if you all are happy to do so, let us today read this chapter number 9. Start reading chapter number 9. Let us say that, of Canto 2, because this contains the chatuḥ-ślokī, the 4 seed verses, and it's Shukadeva Goswami talking to Parikshit Maharaj, replying to Parikshit Maharaj. And when the devotees have been so struck by the content of this chapter, then let us, in their wake, as it were, wake has different meanings in English, but in their wake, let us read up to the chatuḥ-ślokī, and then let's see how we get along. So first of all, very traditionally, when we read Srimad-Bhagavatam, then at the beginning, then we will say, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And we can recite different verses, but a verse, very standard verse, is as invocation, Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayo Mudirayat. Jai Shri Veda Vyas ki Jai, Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, and of course Jai Shri Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Rakshadeva Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, and Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. So I see Paramananda who is also with us. Jayadev Prabhu joined us also. So today, reading Chintamani also joined us in the evening. So what we're going to do today, I will read the first verse in Sanskrit anyway, because we should read something in Sanskrit. Shri Shuka Uvacha Atma Mayam Rite Rajan Parasya Nu Bhavatmanaha Na Ghate Thartha Sambandaha Swapna Drashtu Ivangjasa. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, "O king," this is to King Parikshit, "unless one is influenced by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no meaning to the relationship of the pure soul in pure consciousness with the material body." Acha, I'll read that again. "And O king, unless one is influenced by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no meaning to the relationship of the pure soul in pure consciousness with the material body." That relationship of the pure soul in pure consciousness with the body, that relationship is just like a dreamer's seeing his own body working. All right, so we're going to go through one by one as a reading of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So text 2, the illusioned living entity appears in so many forms offered by the external energy of the Lord. While enjoying in the modes of material nature, the encaged living entity misconceives, thinking in terms of I and mine. As soon as the living entity becomes situated in his constitutional glory and begins to enjoy the transcendence beyond time and material energy, he at once gives up the two misconceptions of life, I and mine, and thus becomes fully manifested as the pure self. O king, the personality of Godhead, being very much pleased with Lord, so this, you see, this doesn't have the quotation marks. So this was being said by Shukadeva Goswami. Oh yes, so still Shukadeva Goswami is saying, O king, the personality of Godhead, being very much pleased with Lord Brahma because of his non-deceptive penance in Bhakti Yoga, presented his eternal and transcendental form before Brahma. And that is the objective goal for purifying the conditioned soul. So previous to this, Brahma has been making a sincere petition to the Lord. So Lord Brahma, the first spiritual master, supreme in the universe, could not trace out the source of his lotus seat. I think, you know, Lord Brahma, he was born from a lotus, on a lotus, sitting on a lotus. And this lotus is coming from Lord Vishnu's navel. So Lord Brahma could not trace out the source of his lotus seat. And while thinking of creating the material world, he could not understand the proper direction for such creative work. Nor could he find out the process for such creation. Okay, little pause there. While thus engaged in thinking in the water, Brahmaji heard twice from nearby two syllables joined together. Oh, excuse me. Govinda, Govinda. One of the syllables was taken from the 16th and the other from the 21st of the Sparsha alphabets, and both joined to become the wealth of the renounced order of life. This is Om, we know this. When he heard the sound, he tried to find the speaker, searching on all sides. But when he was unable to find anyone besides himself, he thought it wise to sit down on his lotus seat firmly and give his attention to the execution of penance as he was instructed. Lord Brahma underwent penances for 1,000 years by the calculations of the demigods. He heard this transcendental vibration from the sky and he accepted it as divine. Thus he controlled his mind and senses, and the penances he executed were a great lesson for the living entities. Thus he, Lord Brahma, is known as the greatest of all ascetics. The personality of Godhead, being thus very much satisfied with the penance of Lord Brahma, was pleased to manifest his personal abode, Vaikuntha, the supreme planet above all others. This transcendental abode of the Lord is adored by all self-realized persons, freed from all kinds of miseries and fear of illusory existence. Hare Krishna. In that personal abode of the Lord, in that personal abode of the Lord, Vaikuntha, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail, nor is there any of their influence in goodness. Nor is there any of their influence in goodness, or the modes of material nature's influence in goodness. So there's no influence of ignorance, passion, or goodness. There is no predominance of the influence of time. So what to speak of the illusory external energy? It cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigods and the demons worship the Lord as devotees. I know questions must arise, but picture the scene and we'll maybe address some of the questions, or probably in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has got these. We're actually reading through, so we've got the theme that's leading up to this chatuḥ-ślokī. So Shukadev's continuing to describe to Parikshit Maharaj. He's saying, saying Lord Brahma's experience. And so now Vishnu has revealed Vaikuntha to Lord Brahma, and Shukadev Goswami is continuing. The inhabitants of the Vaikuntha planets are described as having a glowing sky bluish complexion. Their eyes resemble lotus flowers. Their dress is of yellowish color, and their bodily features very attractive. They are just the age of growing youths. They all have 4 hands. They are all nicely decorated with pearl necklaces, with ornamental medallions, and they all appear to be effulgent. Some of them are effulgent like coral and diamonds in complexion, and have garlands on their heads, blooming like lotus flowers, and some wear earrings. The Vaikuntha planets are also surrounded by various aeroplanes. Is everything good?
Yes, perfect.
And okay. And welcome. Welcome to Brooke from Michigan. And welcome to SCS M360. This is our
Dandi Maharaj.
Yes, I know. Kipa Dandi Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
And Braja Sundari Maharaj. She's already here.
Braja Sundari is here. Oh, so she is. So we are reading a little bit unusual. I mean, unusual in the sense we don't usually read a long way, but we're reading this chapter, yes, of Srimad-Bhagavatam, to come up to the chatuḥ-ślokī, the 4 seed verses. of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So this is a description given Shukadeva Goswami seated with Maharaj Parikshit, and he's describing to him how Lord Brahma, the firstborn in the universe, born on the lotus in the water that's coming from Mahavishnu, lying on the causal ocean. And so it's Garbhodaksha Vishnu and Garbhodaksha, the ocean in the material, in this material world. So that's where Lord Brahma is. And now Lord Brahma done his penances for so long, and Krishna is revealing to him himself and his abode. He's showing him where he lives, the Vaikuntha planets beyond the material world. All right. So the Vaikuntha planets are also surrounded by various aeroplanes, all glowing and brilliantly situated. These aeroplanes, in English, these aeroplanes belong to the great Mahatmas, or devotees of the Lord. The ladies are as beautiful as lightning because of their celestial complexions. And all these combined together appear just like the sky, decorated with both clouds and lightning. The goddess of fortune in her transcendental form is engaged in the loving service of the Lord's lotus feet. The goddess of fortune in her transcendental form is engaged in the loving service of the Lord's lotus feet. And being moved by the black bees, followers of spring, she is not only engaged in variegated pleasure, that is service to the Lord along with her constant companions, but she is also engaged in singing the glories of the Lord's activities. Lord Brahma saw in the Vaikuntha planets the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of the entire devotee community, the Lord of the goddess of fortune, the Lord of all sacrifices, and the Lord of the universe, and who is served by the foremost servitors like Nanda, Sunanda, Prabala, and Arhana, his immediate associates. The personality of Godhead, seen leaning favorably towards his loving servitors, his very sight intoxicating and attractive, appeared to be very much satisfied. The Lord had a smiling face decorated with an enchanting reddish hue. He was dressed in yellow robes and wore earrings and a helmet on his head. He had 4 hands, and his chest was marked with the lines of the goddess of fortune. The Lord was seated on his throne and was surrounded by different energies, like the 4, the 16, the 5, and the 6 natural opulences, along with other insignificant energies of the temporary character. But he was the factual Supreme Lord enjoying his own abode. Lord Brahma, thus seeing the personality of Godhead in his fullness, was overwhelmed with joy within his heart. And thus in full transcendental love and ecstasy, his eyes filled with tears of love. He thus bowed down before the Lord. That is the way of the highest perfection for the living being, Paramahansa. And seeing Brahma present before him, the Lord accepted him as worthy to create living beings, to be controlled as he desired. So that the Lord Brahma would be controlled as he, the Lord, desired. And thus, being much satisfied with him, the Lord shook hands with Brahma, and slightly smiling, addressed him thus. And perhaps somebody could read from here, text number 20. Please try to volunteer to read with understanding.
Jai Dev, Jai Dev.
Is Jayadev Prabhu here?
Are you available, Jai Dev?
Dandavats. I am, but
Dandavats.
I meant, so we're reading the verses before 33 from 9.
Yes.
We are
well,
reading 2:9:20. I'm sorry,
Okay,
Maharaj.
because I was deeply listening. I'm all the way up at 33. Let me see if I can scroll down quick. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Srimad-Bhagavatam, just the translation, right? Let's
Yes,
see.
Prabhu.
Yeah.
46. I don't know if I'm going to find it. I think I'll take too long to find it
2:9:20.
because I have to scroll through this Kindle version I have.
Oh, okay,
It's-
okay.
yeah, it takes a while.
It's just that you read so beautifully, but Jana,
Okay, maybe then all right. Let's
J-
see. Here's 5. I'm almost there. Sorry to keep the devotees waiting. And I'm in a van right now, swinging around in a hammock. So, okay. Just now coming. Text 20, 12. So many purports. 16. 16, 18. 20. Sanskrit.
no, the beautiful personality of Godhead.
Okay. The beautiful personality of Godhead addressed Lord Brahma. O Brahma, impregnated with the Vedas, I am very much pleased with your long accumulated penance, with the desire for creation. Hardly am I pleased with the pseudo-mystics. I wish you good luck, O Brahma. You may ask from me, the giver of all benediction, all that you may desire. You may know that the ultimate benediction, as the result of all penances is to see me by realization. The highest perfectional ingenuity is the personal perception of my abodes. And this has been possible because of your submissive attitude in the performance of severe penance according to my order. O sinless Brahma, you may know from me that it was I who first ordered you to undergo penance when you were perplexed in your duty. Such penance is my heart and soul, and therefore penance and I are non-different. Should I keep going?
Yes, please.
Okay. I create this cosmos by such penance. I maintain it by the same energy, and I withdraw it all by the same energy. Therefore, the potential power is penance only. Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director. Therefore, you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. In spite of that, my Lord, I am praying to you to kindly fulfill my desire. May I please be informed how, in spite of your transcendental form, you assume the mundane form, although you have no such form at all. And please inform me how you, by your own self, manifest different energies for annihilation, generation, acceptance, and maintenance by combination and permutation. Please tell me philosophically all about them. You play like a spider that covers itself by its own energy, and your determination is infallible. please tell me so that I may on the matter, the personality of Godhead, and must
Jaidev Prabhu, the connection is failing. Jaidev Prabhu, the connection is failing. Can I please ask Jivan Aditi to continue on to 929, please?
929.
To 929.
Okay. 929. Please tell me so that I may be taught in the matter by the instruction of the personality of Godhead, and may thus act instrumentally to generate living entities without being conditioned by such activities. Oh, my Lord, the unborn, you have shaken hands with me just as a friend does with a friend, as if equal in position. I shall be engaged in the creation of different types of living entities, and I shall be occupied in your service. I shall have no perturbation, but I pray that all this may not give rise to pride as if I were the supreme. Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly, thank you.
Oh, okay. Text 31. The personality of Godhead said, knowledge about me as described in the scriptures is very confidential, and it has to be realized in conjunction with devotional service. The necessary paraphernalia for that process is being explained by me. You may take it up carefully. All of me, namely my actual external form and my transcendental existence, color, qualities, and activities, let all be awakened within you by my factual realization out of my causeless mercy. So that was text 32. So we think the chapter Ślokīs are beginning with text 33. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Jivana, you have to understand these 4 verses fully while you recite
Okay.
them.
No problem. Piece of cake. But what about the purports, Maharaj? Did you want to also have someone read the purports?
Didi, first of all, we'll read 33, 34, 35, 36. And actually, we'll read to the end of this chapter because actually it's a short chapter. And then we must come back to this but let us now read 33, 34, 35, 36 slowly and with understanding for us all to hear. And I think we'll continue today to the end of the chapter. And then we'll have a little discussion about these verses we're about to hear after that.
And do you want somebody else to read from here?
No, please carry on.
Okay, so we're on chapter, so again, it's just to refresh everybody, Canto 2, chapter 9, and now we're on text number 33, the first of the chatuḥ-ślokīs.
Yes.
Brahma, yeah, okay. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself, nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. Text 34. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. No, it is my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Text 35. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time, I am outside of everything. Text 36.
And this 36 is the last of those 4 chatuḥ-ślokī.
A person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly.
Jai.
Wow.
So please do continue to the end, but we've just given a little spotlight for those 4 verses, and then just a few more verses to the end of the chapter.
Okay. And that's a very, very substantial purport there. So text 37. O Brahma, just follow this conclusion by fixed concentration of mind, and no pride will disturb you, neither in the partial nor in the final devastation. Text 38. Sukadeva Goswami said to Maharaj Parikshit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, after being seen in his transcendental form instructing Brahmaji, the leader of the living entities, disappeared. Text 39. On the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who is the object of transcendental enjoyment for the senses of the devotees, Brahma, with folded hands, began to recreate the universe, full with living entities, as it was previously. Text 40. Thus, once upon a time, the forefather of living entities and the father of religiousness, Lord Brahma, situated himself in acts of regulative principles, desiring self-interest for the welfare of all living entities. Text 41. Narada, the most dear of the inheritor sons of Brahma, always ready to serve his father, strictly follows the instructions of his father by his mannerly behavior, meekness, and sense control. Text 42. Narada was very much pleased his father. Narada very much pleased his father and desired to know all about the energies of Vishnu, the master of all energies. For Narada was the greatest of all sages and greatest of all devotees, O king. And text 43. The great sage Narada also inquired in detail from his father Brahma, the great grandfather of all the universe, after seeing him well satisfied. Text 44. Thereupon, the supplementary Vedic literature, Srimad-Bhagavatam, which was described by the personality of Godhead and which contains 10 characteristics, was told with satisfaction by the father, Brahma, to his son, Narada. Text 45. In succession, O king, the great sage Narada instructed Srimad-Bhagavatam unto the unlimitedly powerful Vyasadeva, who meditated in devotional service upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, on the bank of the river Saraswati. Wow. What? Good history. Text 46. O king, your questions as to how the universe became manifested from the gigantic form of the personality of Godhead, as well as other questions, I shall answer in detail by explanation of the 4 verses already mentioned.
And
Jai.
that's the end. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wow.
The spotless Purana, Srimad-Bhagavatam, the spotless Purana.
Wow.
And we have to hear the scriptures from the devotees. We have to understand them from the devotees. And we know that Srila Prabhupada, he made Bhagavad Gita as it is. And so many editions, hundreds of editions of Bhagavad Gita throughout the world. And so many, they came to the Western world, English translation, Spanish, and others, no doubt, as well. But nobody became devotees from that. But by Srila Prabhupada bringing the Bhagavad Gita, then it influenced and changed the hearts of countless people around the world. And here we are reading now from Srimad-Bhagavatam. And Srimad-Bhagavatam, we definitely have to hear from the mouths of the devotees. We have to hear the presentation of the devotees of what is Srimad-Bhagavatam. Not only in the translations, but then with these extensive purports which are here to give us understanding of what's behind the statements of the verses. And it's Srila Prabhupada's purity, it's Srila Guru Maharaj's purity, it's Srila Gurudev's purity, which has brought everyone's heart to see that we have a proper purpose in this life, to follow this direction, to search for the Lord, up to the limitless limit of being with the Lord and attaining his land of loving devotion. About Narayan, there's so much affection being expressed in the earlier part of this chapter. What to speak of Narayan's origin, Krishna. So here we are in the material world, but we are looking up. We are looking up to the upper world through the eyes of the devotees. And we do read here also Srimad-Bhagavatam in the evening, as in Navadip. In Navadip, regularly they read Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat was the morning reading. The Srimad-Bhagavatam was the afternoon reading. And in the evening was Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And around the world, different temples adjust a little bit for what's being read in the morning. And some places like St. Petersburg, they do read in the noon, the lunchtime as well, as the Bhoga offering goes on. And then a little time after that, after the Lord's been fed, then they read to the Lord. Anandamoy Prabhu, the Pujari, does read to the Lord there, Srimad-Bhagavatam also. But the spotless Purana coming through the spotless devotees. And here we're the students in this department of what is the purpose of life. And so really to get the context of these chatuḥ-ślokī, then we've read the whole chapter. And I hope that everyone kind of relates to it, because of course we haven't read the whole of Canto 1 and Canto 2, the chapters that lead up to chapter 9. So there's a background to everything. But here we've come to these chatuḥ-ślokī, from which now more extensively then the answers are going to be expanded on. And so these verses we can just read again, 33, 34, 35, and 36, and to bring to our attention. So Lord Narayan, Vishnu, is speaking to Brahma. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now, remember he's talking to Lord Brahma, sitting on the lotus in the universe with nothing else around. But he sees where he is, I'm somewhere. That which you see now is also I. But he's seeing the Vaikuntha realm. Okay. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy. That reflection, full stop. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time I am outside of everything. A person who is searching after the absolute, the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. Okay, I settle my case. I'm not going to start reading. I'm not going to start reading the purport, but we always say we have homework to do, and we have homework to do practically every day after our morning program, to go back and read something again, read the purport, read something longer. And we should try to do our homework side of life so that we keep ourselves like clear and with what we're doing. And these 4 verses, by the way, are the verses that Divya Shakti and Divya Shakti Devirasi and Purushottama Prabhu, they spent the aeroplane ride from Salt Lake City to Milan to here, which is, it must be 10 hours anyway. I don't know quite how long it is. They spent the aeroplane ride on these 4 verses. So we only have 8 minutes left today, so we don't think we're going to cover an aeroplane.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, please excuse me 1,000 times, but I need to interrupt.
Oh,
Because
please,
the purports are very, very long. We can have as homework to read the purports and any questions to bring them next time. But I would like to invite Dandi Maharaj to please read something very beautiful that Srila Gurudev said about Srila Guru Maharaj.
Oh, something happened. Oh, I see.
I'm sharing the screen. I'm sharing the screen.
Yes, please do so. Maharaj, our Dandavat Pranam to you, and we look forward to hearing this beautifully.
So, in the foreword of the book Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 2, Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisundar Govinda Maharaj states that the holy vibration of divine talks of the Supreme Lord and his associates, Hari-kathā, is an eternal benediction, descending through the divine succession of the great divine masters down to this plane of the mundane world. The holy talks of the Lord that emanate from the lotus mouth of the pure saint are a manifestation of the Lord himself. No one can estimate the oceanic grace of the Lord upon the fallen conditioned souls when he personally descends in this form of holy talks of him. My most worshipful and beloved divine master, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Shatardev Goswami Maharaj, always loved to deliver such holy talks, especially in the supreme line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whoever was fortunate to hear those talks, whether hailing from east or west, their hearts would bloom with happiness and transcendental prospect. Jai.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. And actually, if you give me permission, Madhusudana Maharaj, I'm going to change the slide to the second part. May I be allowed?
But by your wish, and what I was also going to say about this is also, here is something which has struck a special chord in a devotee's heart, means yourself, Praneshri, and so you've presented this to us, and this has that value that somebody, we're sharing somebody's inspiration. And this is somewhat the theme of today, because really we're sharing that very lively inspiration which came to Divya Shakti and Purushottam Prabhu. And they've brought our focus to that, and you are bringing our focus to these parallel, like beautiful things coming from our present day scripture. Yes,
it has to do with Hari-kathā. So the second part.
Yes. And who will you have read it?
Seva-rupa can read it, please.
Jai.
Okay, so the holy vibration, am I there?
No.
No, not yet. Okay.
Yes, now.
Okay.
Yes.
Happy birthday, dear Paramananda Prabhu. We are honored to get your association, and we pray to have the good fortune to continue receiving your nourishing Hari-kathā. You are blessed with refined theistic intelligence, constantly engaged in learning from our divine Guru Varga, and kindly and very affectionately sharing their sweetness and guidance with all of us. Please accept our Dandavat pranams. Dandavat.
Oh, okay, we didn't know we'd said that, but we have each said that. Oh, so it's a happy birthday day for Paramananda Prabhu. Ah, very clever, Praneshri Devirasi. Very interesting way to introduce this part of the necessity of today, to glorify the Vaishnavas, glorify the Lord. Yes, Paramananda Prabhu, happy birthday. And what a beautiful reading we've had, a beautiful chapter to remind us of why we've taken birth and what is our goal of life. And that Srimad-Bhagavatam is giving us is distributed by Mahaprabhu, spotlighted by Mahaprabhu, and given to us all over the world by Srila Saraswati Thakur, Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada. So a very auspicious birth. What have you got to say in your defense, Paramananda?
Nothing. Just surrender. I learned to surrender, Maharaj. That's what you learn in the company of the devotees. You learn how to tolerate, how to surrender, how to be humble, and accept whatever comes on your head, even though it's very embarrassing sometimes.
Last class was called a constant adjustment. So I had to adjust today because that was from the beginning. I was going to ask permission to ask devotees about Hari-kathā, and I was going to end with this. But then we jumped to Srimad-Bhagavatam, and I had to wait. And when I saw the clock ticking, I said, I need to interrupt.
Well, it was designed, destined to happen, and what a better, birthday party than to spend in hearing Krishna Katha, especially Srimad-Bhagavatam, in the company of the Vaishnavas. Really, I cannot wish for a better gift. There's no other better gift than that. So. And really beautiful chapter, Maharaj. No wonder it's caught attention of Divya Shakti and Purushottam. Actually, there is a key, like you asked Jivanand, be prepared to understand what is in 4 verses, chatuḥ-ślokī, the key verses of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Wow.
But we can say it's impossible to understand. You can spend 10 hours on a flight, you can spend 1 life, 10 lives, billion lives, still you will not going to get even close to understanding of what is encapsulated in the 4 shlokas of Srimad-Bhagavatam we just read. But in the end of the chapter, there is a hope how one can reach that understanding. And maybe Jivana didn't notice because she was reading. It's a little bit coded there, but there is a key how to understand. Jivana, did you see that? No. It is description of how Narada Muni approached his father. And we also know that father acts as a guru. And Brahma, he is a Vaishnava, topmost Vaishnava. So Narada Muni approached him and satisfied his heart. He was very pleased with his son, Narada. Why? Because he asked proper questions, relevant questions. He wanted to know about Krishna. He wanted to know about the Lord, about his glories. And that was the only thing he asked for. So Brahma's heart was melted. And that's how Narada got all the divine knowledge flooding his heart because of satisfied Vaishnava, satisfied spiritual master who has the capacity to give us that full understanding. Otherwise, no matter how much we try, study books, study Vedas, study this and study that, it will not be possible. But by the grace of the Vaishnava, when the Vaishnava is satisfied, everything becomes possible. Even the impossible becomes possible. So it is there in one of the final shlokas, which is really a hope-giving statement in Srimad-Bhagavatam. Because after hearing that, there's nothing you can do but realizing your own lack of capacity, lack of qualification, like forever, infinite lack of qualification to grasp a meaning of what was just said. But then there's always a hope. It can come to your heart by the grace of devotee of Krishna. Everything you need will come to you if he is satisfied. And very easy to satisfy, apparently. Just ask a proper question. Very simple. Yes, Jivana did.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. To have that kind of mood, at least aspire, head for that kind of mood. Keep that mood above our heads always to try and emulate that.
And on the birthday thing, the last thing I will say, when I was a young brahmachari, our temple commander would always congratulate us by saying, happy birthday, 1 year closer to death. It wasn't very a happy day for us those days, back those days. But when I joined Srila Gurudev and met with the devotees of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, they would always be so happy to congratulating me. And I said, well, that's very different. I said, and I remember Srila Prabhu explained to me, he said, of course, we have to celebrate this life. Look at this connection that you got in this life. So you have to celebrate not just once a year, but every second of your life. Think about your fortune. Celebrate your life by engaging, by celebration. That means some understanding must come, how fortunate you are and what to do with that fortune. When it's aspire, ask, beg for more service, beg for the company of the devotees. We have to beg for that every second, every breath we take. And that was very inspiring. That explanation really penetrated my heart and I was very happy. That's all I have to say.
Happy birthday. Maharaj, in the chat, there is a verse 41 shared by Sevarupa.
Yes, so beautiful. Tang Narada Priyatamo Riktadanam Anuvrataha Shushushamana Shilena Prashrayena Damena Cha. So now you know, I don't know by heart. Oh, that's not part of the chatuḥ-ślokī. Anyway, still I do not know by heart the chatuḥ-ślokī of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Okay. Narad, the most dear of the inheritor sons of Brahma, always ready to serve his father, strictly follows the instructions of his father by his mannerly behavior, meekness, and sense control. Jai. Yes, when Jivana read that, I also was feeling so wonderful description of a disciple to the Guru. And also remind me a little bit how Guru Maharaj told about Srila Saraswati Thakur. He considered his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, primarily as Guru, and in a very secondary, very much secondary position as his father. So here also, this similar thing, Narada Muni, seeing Brahmaji as his Guru in a principal position. And Narada brings everything a little closer to us, because we know Narada Muni keeps popping up all over the place. And sometimes when we have very few devotees, we do say, well, please still put down the various asanas, mats on the floor, because we've heard it said that Srila Prabhupada said. Now, okay, that's another matter, but still it's nice to know, nice to think it, that Narada Muni and others, they come to hear the recitation of the scriptures, whether Srimad-Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we know that Narada Muni, he's around. Whether we will be ever qualified to have his association will depend on our strictly following instructions of our fathers, our gurus, by our mannerly behavior, meekness, and sense control.
Sounds very hopeless, Maharaj.
I don't know, I just think
To me,
we are in the department of mercy, of pleading for mercy. Okay, dear devotees, and Nirupama Devirasi joined us too. Well done, Nirupama, here in Vila Govinda Ashram. All right, so dear devotees, at least from my side, I'm going to slip away quietly or noisily, and leave you to your homework and leave me to my homework too presently. But I won't get a chance just now to do so. But we've come to spotlight the chatuḥ-ślokī of Srimad-Bhagavatam, and I think that on Sunday, let us continue, or your Saturday in the far west. Then on the next gathering, we can come a little bit more into the chatuḥ-ślokī, because, as Divya pointed out, there is so much stressing the personality of Godhead. There must be a person. So Srimad-Bhagavatam has come to present to us the personality of Godhead. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, and Jai Srila Bhagavan, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki Jai, Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhanga ki Jai. And to all of you ki Jai,
Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Nandi Maharaj ki Jai, to Paramananda Prabhu on his birthday ki Jai, and to Prema Sindhu Prabhu, and to Jivana Devidasi, to all of the senior devotees here, to all of the devotees here. Our obeisances, Panchakalpa Tarubhyas Cha, Kripa Sindhu Eva Cha, Atitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And to all of you who are with us on Facebook, apologies, I don't have Facebook on today. And those who may see later on, we're very happy to have you with us and be able to share these beautiful things together.
A special dandavas from Mathura Vasini Maharaj.
Okay, Mathura Vasini, the special dandavas reciprocated. Hare Krishna. Amra Ashchi.
Thank you very much, and excuse me for interrupting Maharaj, but I couldn't wait.
No, it is very good you did so. And maybe you reminded Paramananda it's his birthday too, because he probably is not giving much prominence to that. Okay, Paramananda, have a good day.
Maharaj, I had my happy birthday cracker this morning, so I'm satisfied.
You had a cracker, a rice cracker. Oh my goodness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
On this note, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.